Hey everyone, I just wanted to wish a happy 4th of July, happy Independence Day to everybody who's watching, who is an American, who's celebrating the 4th of July with me. I am here in a little city called Belfast, Maine. It is a pretty stereotypically gray, kind of cold New England day. So you can see just gorgeous little city here, a little one stoplight actual Maine coastal village. And I wanted to stop and celebrate 4th of July with you by telling you something that I thought was really interesting about Independence Day. So when we gained our independence from the British, it wasn't just because of American hardiness and courage and some stick-to-itiveness on the part of the American colonials. It was actually in large part because George Washington was able to secure covert support from the French during the conflict, during the American Revolution. And the French, who had recently lost in the 7 Years' War to the British, were hungry for a way to get back at the British for the humiliation that the British kind of put on the French following the loss in the 7 Years' War. In a very interesting turn of events, George Washington is in many ways credited with being the individual who started the French the French and England conflict that became the 7 Years' War while he was just a young lieutenant in the wilderness here in New England. But my point is, the French were the ones that came and supplied us muskets, the French supplied us clothing, the French supplied us with shoes, because the American colonials were completely dependent on Britain for all of those things during the colonial period. So the reason that we were able to successfully launch and maintain an extended conflict was because of support from the French. And then of course it was the French who ended up sailing into Yorktown to help us win and finish the entire American Revolution. So being an American veteran, being a veteran of the Air Force, we love in the military to make fun of the French, because in World War I and in World War II, it was the Americans that actually stormed into France to liberate the French from the major Axis powers at the time. So as much as we like to tease the French for having Americans land on their shores to liberate them in World War I and World War II, the truth is that we owe much of our independence to the bravery and the courage of the French during our time of need in the American Revolution. And as far as it goes, I will be the first one to say, if France ever needs American help, I would be more than happy to give them my aid, because they were such awesome allies during the American Revolution. And that's saying something, because in the intel world, the French are outstanding. The DGSE is an outstanding intelligence service, and they are constantly stealing secrets from the Americans. They are like the #1 enemy in terms of economic espionage and corporate espionage. So DGSE, if you're watching, I know how good you are. I know that you're not trustworthy. And even still, because of the historical ties between the French and the Americans and our independence, I will always ride to the rescue to help France anytime they need help. So on this Independence Day, I hope that you're spending time with your loved ones. I hope you're appreciating American history, but I also hope that you stop to realize that no independence would be known to America if not for the brave, courageous sacrifice of other countries, specifically the country of France. All right, folks, hopefully that lifted up your day or gives you something interesting to talk about tonight at dinner with your family. Take care and happy 4th of July.